Good evening, everybody. This is Kayla with National Training Truck Driving School. I would like to thank you guys all for joining me tonight. Welcome to our Tuesday evening webinar. This evening, our special guest is going to be John Hine with TMC Transportation. And I know he's standing by. I can't wait to talk with you guys. But we're going to take care of a few things first while we still have everybody signing on. Looks like some people are still trying to log in. But we'll go through the housekeeping, as I like to call it, while we wait on everybody to join. You might be joining us from your desktop computer, maybe your laptop computer, your smartphone, maybe a tablet, and there's some controls that I want to point out to you guys. Everybody is going to see this orange or reddish colored microphone. We are in the listen only mode at the moment, but here shortly we will be opening up those phone lines and microphones so you can ask questions and participate. Number 2 icon is going to be your hand, your green hand. If everybody would go ahead and click on their hand, that way I know you can hear me and see my screen, would greatly appreciate it. Thank you, Timothy. I appreciate you participating there. If everybody else could just click on their green hand, that way I can know you guys can hear me all right. All right, I see a few more hands going up, and I can put all of them down with one little click of a button. The third icon here is your question icon, the question mark. If you have a question in the midst of us talking, or if we're going too fast and you want us to elaborate on something, you can definitely click on that, and I keep that question box open so I can see if anybody's asking anything mid-conversation. Might also have a camera icon. We are going to leave the cameras off tonight just because we get a lot of folks that are in a more rural setting that need the bandwidth to be able to participate tonight, and sometimes those cameras take that away, so we'll just keep those off for tonight. Just a little bit about who we are here at National Training. We were incorporated in 1978 as a proprietary post-secondary vocational education institution. We are committed to providing a strong curricula with programs that emphasize practical, usable skills blended with a relevant general education foundation. We have a caring environment with personal attention and close faculty-student interaction with an open-door admission policy. We are Florida's oldest private truck driving school. We have a state-of-the-art training facility and a 1.25-mile multi-lane highway that ensures a safer, more efficient training. We have graduated over 40,000 students since 1978. You might find yourself asking yourself the question, why drive a truck for a living? Simply put, job security. And speaking of job security, at this time I would like to invite John to join us tonight and tell us all about his wonderful company, TMC. Thanks for joining us tonight, John.
You're welcome. Good talking to everybody.
Yeah. So tell us some of the history of TMC, just to get started.
Sure. TMC was started back in 1972 by Harold Annette. He started the company with 6 trucks, and currently right now we're around 2,500 trucks. We just celebrated our 50th birthday, so we're not some podunk company that just started up. We've been around for a little while, and we're always looking to grow with some great drivers, and obviously we get a lot of great drivers from National Truck Driving School, which we appreciate. We are a flatbed trucking company. That's what we do. That's what we are known for. We don't have any vans, reefers, tankers, anything like that. Just strictly a flatbed trucking company.
Absolutely. You guys have those pretty black and chrome trucks driving down the highway. We see them all over the place.
That's right. Go ahead. So, I mean, we are known for our black and chrome, beautiful trucks. They are all Peterbilt. They're all within 4 or 5 years old. So someone's just not going to come to TMC and get a piece of junk at TMC. We're going to give you a nice truck to drive. In the back of that truck, we have a large-size bunk bed with a 24-inch flat-screen TV. We do have a spot for refrigerator, microwave, plenty of storage area. In the front is all leather interior. We have a Qualcomm system, CV radio, weight gauges, toll passes. So people don't have to worry about tolls or anything like that. It's all just going to be billing our company. We do have our orientation is going to happen in automatics, but we still do have some manuals that are available. We are not 100% automatics. We are, if I had to guess right now, we're probably about 60-40 in automatics. So.
That's a change. I know
Yes.
a while back you guys didn't have any automatics, so growing with the industry.
I'm rolling with it.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about what a student driver, so somebody who just graduated school, could expect when they go to work for TMC.
Sure. So after an individual goes through truck driving school, we have a 2-week orientation. It's in Columbia, South Carolina. So first thing first, obviously you put your application in with TMC. We'll go through it. We start orientation every single Monday. During the orientation, you learn, everything with flatbed. I mean, you learn how to tarp, strap, chain a load. The load securement, obviously very, very important in flatbed. And then obviously we go over, electronic logs. Obviously you'll be driving our trucks around Columbia, kind of getting the feel of what it's like to drive our Peterbilts around. And then after the 2 weeks, you have 4 weeks out with a trainer. But in between the two, orientation and the 4 weeks, you'll go home for the weekend, and then you have that 4 weeks. Now, when the trainer comes home for the weekend, obviously you would come home for the weekend also. All the training that we have for those 6 weeks, you get paid $650 a week for the orientation and the training.
Okay. So I heard that weekend get to go home. How often do they get to do that?
Yeah, so our motto at TMC is to get our drivers home on the weekend. So majority of our drivers will leave out either Sunday afternoon or Monday morning, and then you come home on Friday. Now, when you come home on Friday, that beautiful black and chrome truck comes home with you. So you can park your truck at a Home Depot, a Lowe's, a Walmart, truck stop nearby your house. Or if you got a house big enough for a truck and trailer, shoot, just park it right at your house. Now, on an average load, an average load goes 450 miles. So, I always say to the driver, you probably go out maybe about 11:50, and then obviously turn around and come back home for the weekend. So, our drivers probably averaging somewhere between 22 to 2,300 miles in a week, and then coming home, obviously, like I said, on Friday.
Very nice. So it lets people get home for like events like some birthdays or anniversaries and the holidays too, right?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And our drivers are home for Thanksgiving and they're home for Christmas, so they don't have to worry about that or at all either. So
That's awesome because I know that's one thing I kind of hear, dealing with some students is, man, I like the idea of doing that regional or that over the road kind of driving, but I want to be home for birthdays and holidays and things like that. So that's a pretty cool perk to hear with you guys.
absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about the pay that a driver will expect working for TMC.
Yeah, absolutely. So the average first-year driver at TMC makes between $75,000 to $85,000 a year. Now, we are different from a lot of trucking companies, where a lot of trucking companies pay cents per mile. Where we're different is we pay percentage pay. So whatever I charge the customer for the freight, you're going to get 26% of the load. Now, I've already said that the average load goes about 450 miles, in which I would charge a customer somewhere in the ballpark of around maybe $1,100 for that load, for an example. And you would get 26% of that, which is about $280 for that one load. If you tarp a load, we give you an additional $40 on top of that. So now you're looking at an average load that goes 450 miles, getting paid around $320 for a load that is tarped. Our goal at TMC is to do around 5 loads in a week, 5 times 320. That's $1,600 a week. Get paid every Friday. Now, what I like about percentage pay over mileage pay is obviously if I'm raising my rates with the customer, obviously the drivers are getting a pay raise. Also, what I like about TMC is that you can get a pay raise every 30 days. So every 30 days, we look at your performance as a driver. And so we look at your miles per gallon, your out-of-route mileage, your revenue, having certain endorsements like a hazmat passport, TWIC card, keeping our trucks clean, time management, safety. All those things give you points, in which we will go over the point scale in orientation, but all those things give you a points. We add up all your points, and your percentage pay can go up from 26 all the way up to 34%. 34 is our max. 26% is our minimum. So what I like about it, like I said, is that it's based on performance. If you're out there busting your butt, you're going to get paid for busting your butt. I always give the example of 45 cents a mile. That's pretty much the industry average right now. Mm-hmm. At 45 cents a mile, you would have to go 600 miles just to make $270. So it's a lot of driving just to make $270. So that's why I like percentage pay over mileage pay, is that I feel like the drivers get paid way more money with that package than, relying on, gosh, I got to get so many miles just to get a decent paycheck.
Yeah.
So definitely different from a lot of trucking companies, because a lot of trucking companies do not pay the percentage pay. So.
Absolutely. So are there any other pay perks that you guys do with TMC?
Well, the pay perks. Obviously there's detention pay, layover pay, breakdown pay. That's all depending upon how many hours, how many breakdown pay. It potentially could be up to your daily average. But we'll still try to, if we can't fix it, we'll get you out a loaner truck, so that we can just keep you moving. But that's all will be analyzed, once we figure what the situation is. We really don't have too many problems with detention, layover pay, just because we have appointment times. The customer knows we're coming. The fleet manager already talked to the customer. So really, it's not too much of a big deal at TMC.
That's great. So what about benefits? Everybody, wants to make sure that their family has insurance or vacation time. What kind of stuff do you guys offer with that?
Yeah, and that's the benefits. Obviously, I think is very important to everybody, and some obviously more than others, but depending. But at TMC, we use United Healthcare. So if an individual is married with children, and it doesn't matter how many children you have, it's $140 a week. That is your medical, dental, vision, and your life insurance. If you are single, it is around $40 a week. If you are married or single with children, it's around $70 a week, and that is your medical, dental, vision, and your life insurance. 401k, obviously a lot of companies out of the 401k program. We also have 401k. We will match 10% of your first 6% after 5 years you're fully vested. Family ride-along program. So if an individual has a spouse or a child over the age of 10, also we do include live-in boyfriends and girlfriends. They can ride along with you. There is a little bit of fee, $5 a week, $20 a month. That's for insurance for the individual. Tuition reimbursement. So obviously if you do go to National Truck Driving School, and we will reimburse you for going to that school. We'll reimburse you $200 a month up to $6,000. Paid vacation, you get 7 days paid vacation after a year, 14 days after 2 years. And then obviously the big thing with TMC is that we are an employee-owned company. So after you work for our company for a year, you will start collecting shares into the company. Last year, the average driver, if I were to guess right now, is probably collected around somewhere in the ballpark of around $30,000 in shares, which is a lot of money. I mean, it's nothing that you put money into. This is all depending upon the profitability of TMC. So what we do is we take your salary, so whatever you made throughout the year, and then we multiply it by whatever the profitability of TMC was for the year. Our profitability last year, 2021, was around 59.98%. So that means if I made $70,000, multiply that by 60%, that's around $42,000 I was added to my trust account for the year.
That's awesome.
So obviously, the longer you're with TMC, obviously you'll notice that it will grow. So for instance, we went employee owned in 2013. Anybody that's been with our company since 2013 to 2021, the average person has around somewhere in the ballpark of around $110,000 in that account right now. The two questions I always get about it is, what's the kicker and how do I get my hands on that money? The kicker is you got to be fully vested with the company. You have to work for the company for 6 years. After 6 years, that money's yours. You don't need to wait till retirement age to collect on it. You'll start collecting on it as soon as you leave the company. So obviously, the more years you do, obviously the more money that's going to be collected on there. If I decide to leave after 5 years, though, I'll still get 80% of whatever's in that trust account. If I leave after 4, I get 60%. 3, I get 40%. Leave after 2, I get 20%. So obviously, after 2 years, you're going to receive something. After 6 years, obviously you're fully vested, which is a big deal at TMC. So on top of your 401k, obviously you have your shares. Which, like I said, that's a big deal because you don't put any money into that. It's all depending upon the profitability of TMC. So,
absolutely, that's a great perk. That right there is a deal maker for me, I would say.
Yeah.
So I did get a question in the question box here about what you guys offer for military veterans.
Yeah, so we're obviously a very, very military-friendly company. 37% of our company are military vets. But we have an apprenticeship program at TMC. This allows you to collect on the BH, the stipend. Now, we don't take months of the GI Bill away from you. Again, this is just a way of you to collect the housing stipend. Now, what we do is during the orientation, you fill out some paperwork. We submit it to the VA. We use Des Moines, Iowa zip code for this because that's where our headquarters is at. It's around $1,400 a month, obviously on top of your pay. So that check will come from the VA to your bank account. We are not the middleman. All we do for you is we log your hours and your miles into the VA. And again, that check, like I said, it's just a way for you to collect on the housing stipend. Now, it is a 2-year program at TMC, but you can stop at any time. So if you feel like, hey, I just want to use it for the first 2, 3, 4, 5 months as get my feet wet with the company, then do that. From one veteran to another veteran, take as much money from the VA as possible. So
absolutely, you guys made your sacrifice and your determination should be paid for. So definitely agree.
Yes, with that. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, John, is there anything that we didn't cover yet before we open up the lines for questions?
I think we're good. So okay. Whatever questions individuals have.
Absolutely. All right. So at this time, guys, if anybody wants to raise their hand, you're more than welcome to, and I'll be happy to call on you. That way you can ask a question. Quentin, go ahead. You can go ahead and hit your microphone. You should be able to ask your question. Go ahead, Quentin. We should be able to hear you. You there, Quentin? It shows that you're good, so go ahead and try to talk. Well, it doesn't look like it's working, my dear. If you want to go ahead and type your question into the chat box, I'll be happy to ask it for you. Anybody else have any questions? You can raise your hand. Oh, Quentin asked a good question. He asked if TMC hires out of Florida.
Do we hire out of Florida?
Yes.
Yes. So our hiring area is pretty much from the Midwest to the East Coast, all the way up through Minnesota, Wisconsin, New York, all the way down in Texas, but pretty much from the Midwest to the East Coast. I don't know where he plans on living, but if he shoots me whatever city and state he plans on living, I can tell you if we hire in that area.
Yeah, Quentin, if you want to type in your city and state, you're welcome to do so. We can definitely let you know. Got another question in there is if you allow pets. Do you have a pet policy?
Oh yeah, no pets. We have no pet policy at TMC.
Okay. Quentin said that he's going to be in Jacksonville, Florida. So absolutely, I know I can answer that
Oh
question, John.
yeah.
Yeah, they hire a lot of our students that come out of the school here. We're just south of Jacksonville, so definitely
Yeah.
have a lot of opportunity in this area.
Yep, and the same home time, home on the weekends.
Very good. Any other questions, guys? I did get a question in here on TMC's take on anybody with a criminal history.
Yeah, we do. We go back 10 years. So if an individual has something, what we do is we look at it. What was it? What was the charge? Did you serve any jail time? But the big thing is too is that we also look at, okay, the incident happened. What have you done since? So that's where the total package of the application comes in as, okay, yeah, we got in trouble. Whatever it was, now what have you done since that incident has happened? So, like I said, that's where the total of the application comes in handy. Obviously, a lot of things have changed in the world, and we're kind of going with the flow with a lot of things. But again, that just depends on what it was, where it was, and how much time you served or didn't serve. I will say if an individual is still on probation, the probation has to be done complete before they start a TMC.
Okay, understandable. All right. Any other questions, guys? Getting some good ones here, though. I'm liking them. All right. All right, John, I don't see any more hands going up. So if anybody does have any questions, they can definitely reach out and we can either answer the question if we know it for you, or I can definitely direct you to John as well.
If somebody has any questions, you can call my cell phone. It's 951-691-2983. Again, that is 951-691-2983. That is my cell phone. I'm on the road just like a truck driver is Monday to Friday. So again, you guys can reach out to me at any time, and I'll answer any questions you guys got for me.
Absolutely. Yeah, I just typed that into the chat so everybody can see that as well. Well,
okay,
John,
awesome.
As always, we love having you on, love seeing you here, and I know we'll get to see you next week. But thank you so much for joining us tonight.
All right, we'll see you next week.
Have a great
Everybody
evening.
Have a good night. All right.
Thanks, John.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, everybody. So we're just going to continue on here a little bit with a little bit more about our school. So our trucks, we have a multitude of different trucks here, everything from your cab over engines to your conventional condos, sleepers, and day cabs. We do train on manual transmission trucks here. You're welcome to test in an automatic if that's what it comes down to, but we do strongly encourage to use that manual transmission so you don't have any restrictions when you leave here. If you've never seen the inside of a truck before, this might be something that you see. You got your driver's seat, your co-pilot seat. A lot of times that'll swivel around like that. I got your bunks. You know, some of them have a table that comes down like this. Some of them will fold up into a table and almost like a booth. Got your microwave. Most of them have a TV, refrigerator, all the comforts of home, just in a more compact size. Different driving jobs. You can haul freights of all different kinds. A lot of companies will remain primarily in a specified area of the country, like TMC. Most do offer weekly home time, great pay, steady runs, company benefits, all the perks. This is based off of the 2019 to 2020, so it is a few years old now, but this is what the U.S. Bureau of Labor and Statistics still has published. So these numbers, honestly, guys, I'll be quite honest with you, they're pretty low. I see a lot of much higher annual average salaries that you're going to see as a truck driver. Our school qualifications. We do review everyone's driving record, their criminal background, your physical abilities. Everybody has to take a drug screen on the first day of class, and we do want to know your intensity to succeed. We ensure that everyone can benefit from this training before you start, and by doing so, we're making sure that you're employable, because that is usually the ultimate goal. We have a 4-week residence hands-on training. Great instructor to student ratio. We have this fantastic 150 acres, and this is that 1.25 mile track that I mentioned earlier. So you learn how to drive right here on the premises before you ever leave the property. CDL simulator on site here. So anybody who might be having a particularly difficult time with something, we'll get you in there with Miss Mary Beth. She's our simulator instructor, and she will help you work out any issues that you're having. It's a great tool, super realistic, super high tech. It's a fun thing to learn on for sure. Our career services department, that's actually the department that I'm the head of here. We've been perfecting our graduate to work program for over 43 years, and it really does work. We start working with you guys right on the very first day of class. I do a in-depth presentation on the first day of class, kind of telling you what you guys can expect throughout your time here and with our career services department. We have one-on-one private counseling sessions to direct our students to companies that would be a good match for them. We want you to be a good match for yourself and for the company. We have a relationship with 164 different companies right now, and I can't be prouder than to say that's a lot of work on our end, but we love doing it and love getting you guys in contact with these awesome companies. We also have a job board that we do update weekly with different companies and different job postings throughout the country, not just right here in Florida, but across the US. We get a lot of students from out of town, and you ask, where am I going to stay? You can really stay anywhere you want, but if you are looking for the best deal, we definitely suggest the Green Cove Springs Inn. It's about 7 miles from the school. We are out here kind of in the woods, as I like to call it, so 7 miles is close by here. Every room has a microwave, refrigerator, free cable with HBO and free Wi-Fi. Definitely get special rates when you're a student here. That $902 for 4 weeks breaks down to about $34 a night. And it's for a room that you are a roommate with one of our other students here. The cost, fees, and financing for the school, $74.95 is the tuition for our CDL Now program. We do offer multiple types of financing with outside financing from banks and credit unions, everything from workforce to vocational rehab, the VA, TAA, income share agreements. We deal with MIA share more specifically. We have some in-house financing, and then those companies that come to talk to you and you go to work for offer that tuition reimbursement, where John was telling you get $200 a month on top of your salary up until $6,000. Every company is a different amount, but most of them are going to cover most of, if not all, of your tuition that you did pay to come to school. So that's a really cool perk. We've been doing this for a very long time. It's all good. We have it all. We have the companies and the jobs. We have the industry recognition. Most trucking companies, if they've been around, they know who we are because we've been doing this for so long. We have impeccable governmental relations. We have guaranteed tuition financing for everyone. We have over 40,000 graduates that came before you. We have a program that's really fun to complete. They have such a fun time out there. And we have an awesome training facility. We always appreciate the students that come to us from the Department of Veterans Affairs, Department of Vocational Rehab, State Vocational Rehab, State Workforce, and the Bureau of Indian Affairs. National training is where the trucking companies come for new drivers. So in addition to TMC, you usually have about 9 or 10 total companies that come and talk to you just in that 4 weeks while you're here. So if you're applying for these companies, you'll have multiple job offers before you leave the school. At this time, I'd like to open up again for any questions that anyone might have. Anybody have any questions? You can raise your hand if you do. I'll be happy to call on you. So while I'm waiting to see if anybody has any questions, just a couple of announcements. Our next webinar is going to be on Tuesday, October 25th, so 2 weeks from tonight, 6:30. Our guest that evening will be Steve Loftus from CRST. We also have an open house event coming up on November 19th. That's a Saturday. So it's from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Bring the family, bring your friends, show you our awesome campus, put you up in a truck to go for a ride, and tell you all about our school. I would like to thank everybody for attending our webinar tonight. I always love doing these and getting to hear from everyone. So if you guys have any questions, just make sure you contact your admissions representative tomorrow morning, 1-800-488-7364. Your lost time's costing you big money, but it's all good. You just got to make sure you call. Thank you guys so much for attending tonight. In order to exit the webinar, you're going to go up to File, Exit, Leave Webinar. File, Exit, Leave Webinar. Thank you guys so much. And if you have any questions, just okay. Have a great night, everybody.